I got a comment asking, are you going to make a laptop sleeve? And I had been kind of thinking about it already, so that comment just pushed me to finally try, and now I've made 4. This is a few days in my life as a small business owner making a laptop sleeve from a prototype. I hope you enjoy. Hi, I'm Yuri, the crafter behind Inside Mountain Craft Studio. In my previous videos, I talked about the fears I had when starting my small business, as well as the mistakes and lessons from my unsuccessful first market. And this is my 3rd video. I wanted to try making a small business owner diary vlog, so here it is. These clips might look familiar because I used them in my 2nd video, but this time I want to focus more on the process of trying to create a new product. So like I said, I got a comment asking about a laptop sleeve, but I didn't know what kind of design that person was looking for, and maybe I should have replied with something like, what kind of design are you after? But at the same time, I was worried she might ask for something I couldn't make or something that didn't fit my brand style. But most of my pieces have ruffles, and I thought maybe she liked my other items with ruffles, and that's why she commented on my post. So I decided to just make it my way. What would you do if you were me? Would you ask for more details or just create your own version like I did? For the prototype, I'm going to use this fabric because I still have a lot. Actually, before cutting the fabric, I have to create the pattern, and I always use these boxes. Sorry, I used a microphone, but the battery was running low and I didn't even realize it, so my voice doesn't sound great. As you can tell, I'm still learning how to vlog for YouTube. So the size I'm gonna use for this prototype is 27 by 37.5 centimeter. So I'm gonna see if that's too big or if it's too small or if it's... Yep, my mic had died here, but I still kept talking though because I didn't realize. So this is the laptop sleeve pop. And it died here again. I only realized that when I was editing the video and I don't even remember what I said. And I started thinking maybe I shouldn't post this vlog at all. But I decided to upload it as it is, because maybe some of you might watch this and think, okay, videos don't have to be perfect. I'm just going to start posting on YouTube. Being perfect YouTuber could be difficult for me, but I'm happy to be that example, which is an imperfect small business owner YouTuber. Okay, so let's go back to the design. I wanted to design something cute enough that I'd want to show it off when I go to a cafe or a library or uni. I'm not a university student, but just an example. But still functional. So I added one pocket on each side with ruffles. As a beginner handmade business owner, I'm training myself to think about where it will be used when I design it, not just how it looks. I feel like those thoughts can help define the target customer. For this laptop sleeve, I imagine a university student using it at university or her favorite cafe. I was making the laptop sleeve, but the sunlight was nice, so with my partner's assistance, I took some photos of those products, and here are the photos. I think these are really nice. So now I'm going to post the photos on my socials. So I finished quilting, and the size is like this. It became 52 centimeter and 36 centimeters. But I think it was too small. I don't think it can fit the laptop, but I'm gonna keep going as a test. And I cut the lining here, but actually I needed to cut double size, but I accidentally cut at the middle, so I can't use it. I wasted this one, but I mean, I'm gonna use it for something else, so it's not wasting, but I can't use it, this one, for the laptop sleeve. So now I'm going to cut the lining once again. I cut the front pocket and the back pocket as well, but I think it's too thin if I use the outer fabric and the lining, so I'm going to cut maybe a felt to place it in between and make it more stronger or structured pockets. I will try that. Now I added the pocket here and also the little pocket here. But I think this pocket should be a bit smaller. I think it's still cute, but slightly like a centimeter each side. Smaller is better. And here, if I make it half like this, it's a bit open too. So I'm gonna add a hook and loop fastener here, so it stays like this. I had made a zipper pouch before, so I thought this should be pretty easy. I just needed to make it bigger, but it took way longer than I expected. I think underestimating the time can happen a lot with handmade things, especially for people who are not very experienced like me. Something looks simple, but just scaling it up changes everything. Bigger pieces mean more fabric, more cutting, more stitches, and at the end, I was surprised by how much time I spent just on quilting. When I quilted the fabric, it shrunk a little, which I already expected. That's why I cut the fabric bigger. I calculated, but it shrunk more than I thought. And I started thinking, wait, is this too small? This is the biggest piece I've ever made, so if it was too small and didn't work, I felt like I might waste the fabric and time. Of course, I can reuse the fabric for a smaller item, but my time will not come back. So I started thinking, should I stop making the laptop sleeve with this and use the fabric for something else before I need to unpick the stitches? But for this time, I kept making the laptop sleeve. Okay, so I made this laptop sleeve. It's not completed. I still have to sew this hole. But other than that, I finished. And the moment of truth, I have to see if the laptop can fit in there. I feel it's too small, but let's see if my laptop sleeve, which is 13-inch, can fit in. Maybe. Oh, it's stuck in the hole actually. It does actually. It's really good. I think it's really good. The pocket here and the big pocket with the hook and loop fastener. Zipper goes well. Laptop. Look, perfect. I'm so glad. Yep. Looks absolutely fine. I think I can even sell this prototype. I really like it. Okay, now I'm gonna sew the last part and complete it. Well, you can probably tell I was trying to say something there, but my English wasn't making much sense, so editing me is stepping in with a voiceover. Honestly, I was kind of surprised. Usually my first prototype doesn't work perfectly and I need to unpick the stitches, but this time it was actually really good. But even though it worked, I still wanted to adjust it a little. I added about 2 centimeters to the width, just give it a bit more room. You probably can't see the difference, but as a crafter, just a couple of centimeters give me peace of mind. I also made a back pocket slightly smaller for the overlook balance of the design. Choosing fabric combinations is one of my favorite parts of crafting. This clay and olive fabric was given to me by a local lady here in Townsville. She found me on TikTok and passed on some fabrics she no longer uses, but didn't want to throw away. I love it when once loved fabrics are passed on someone who is willing to give them a new life. For that fabric, I went with a beige lining, which I found in the remnant section at the store. This tulip fabric was also given to me by another local lady. She was reducing her fabric stash and I instantly fell in love with the vivid colors. I feel like when I buy fabric from large craft stores, there's a higher chance that my piece might look similar to someone else's. Of course, every handmade piece is unique, but from a customer's perspective, it can still feel a bit familiar. That is one of the reasons why I love using second-hand materials, especially fabrics that have been carefully kept in someone's stash for a long time. The chance of someone else using the exact same fabric is so low, and I think that makes each piece feel even more special. For the tulip fabric, I paired it with this blue satin for the ruffle details. I found it at an op shop. I love seeing second-hand fabrics come together like this. If I hadn't bought them or given them, they would have never met, and now they are turning into a laptop sleeve made by me. Another fabric combination was this one. These fabrics are all from Spotlight, so like I mentioned earlier, they might look familiar to some people, but they were all sourced from the remnant section, which makes each piece feel a bit more special. When I list my items on my website, I always mention that the fabric is from a retail store's remnant section, and that because I use remnant materials, each design is only available in small batches, so that customers can feel how special it is, just like I do. Cutting fabric is probably the most time-consuming part for me, and honestly, I don't really enjoy this step that much. So I've been thinking about getting a rotary cutter or maybe even an electric fabric cutter. I actually bought a rotary cutter before, but it didn't cut very well, so I stopped using it. If you have any recommendations, please let me know because I desperately want to make this step faster. I bought this ring light from Kmart because without a tripod, it was difficult to film, especially since I needed an angle where I could hide my face. So hopefully this investment will help me grow my YouTube channel. So I made 3 updated versions. I think this is going to be a design I'll keep making in different fabrics. And actually, one already sold. It was from someone who has purchased from my shop twice already, and this was her 3rd time, and that made me really happy because that means she was happy with my creations. Let me know how you think of this laptop sleeve design. And also thank you so much for watching my video until the end, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye. Thank you so much.